Thanks, Karen Corley. We were child slaves. We got very little portions of food. We were deprived of every human right. A capitation grant was paid by the state to the religious orders to keep us there. They gagged us. We weren't allowed to speak afterwards or name an institution or a perpetrator. The words of Mary Dunleavy Green, one of the hunger strikers who fought for redress from the government for its part and the state's part in its abuse. I mean, the horrors can't be overstated. I remember going out to meet with them when they were bravely on their hunger strike, not seeing any road in terms of justice, and just the horror that these people went through, for which the state was responsible. And therefore it's welcome that the state gives an apology, but it absolutely has to be followed by action. And I do think, we can't just forget how long it took to get to this point, not just in years, but in terms of the days, 46 days of the hunger strike for a mediator to be put in place, 51 days for the government to commit to work with the hunger strikers in relation to their very simple demands, including the award of a Health Amendment Act card, a state contributory pension for the abuse that they suffered in their childhood, and in line, to be clear, and this is the point they always made, in line with what had been offered to other survivors of similar institutions. It's good the government has announced supports for survivors. It has been very, very long. They're not all in place now. They need to come in place. If they're not, we will be putting very significant pressure in here to make sure that they do, and they're not forced to contact us to say, we keep hearing that things are going to be resolved and things don't seem to be resolved. There's around 4,000 living survivors of abuse in industrial schools. They can't be made to wait. They have to get this, the very, very least that they're entitled to. I also want to raise a related issue of abuse which has been ignored, which is the historic abuse that occurred in psychiatric hospitals. I've been speaking to Mary Donovan about her mother, Margaret Mary Donovan, who was institutionalised for nearly her entire life. She spent over 50 years in both state-run and religious institutions across Ireland from the age of 16. In 1966, nursing notes said, quote, "There appears to be very little wrong mentally with her, yet she remained institutionalised." Included in the allegations against these psychiatric institutions are mistreatment, rape and forced labour. The abuse also severely impacted the life of Mary's brother Christopher, who had spent over 20 years in a psychiatric hospital and died there in 2007. The abuse he had suffered saw him go from what was described as a big man to a skeleton and develop numerous other issues, including schizophrenia. There's no inquiry in place in relation to psychiatric institutions. There's no redress has been offered, no apology has been offered. This issue is coming. The government should get ahead of it, address it, inquiry into it, and not force another group of people to have to protest for a basic recognition of it. This issue is coming. The government should get ahead of it, address it, inquiry into it, and not force another group of people to have to protest for a basic recognition of the wrongs that the state did to them and an apology.